Hi, and welcome to this special edition of Military Makeover Operation Career. I'm Montel Williams. Today, we're on location in Eaton Rapids, Michigan, visiting the VFW National Home, who since 1925 has been giving heroic vets and their families going through tough times a lifeline just when they need it the most. I'll be sitting down with their executive director to learn more, and you'll meet those who have faced some difficult challenges and have been given a second chance. It all starts right now. Good morning. Let's begin with Michael Wilson, VFW National Home Executive Director. Mike, thanks so much for joining us today.
Glad to be here, Montel. Thank you.
Absolutely. Why don't you tell our viewers, what is the VFW National Home?
So the VFW National Home is a place where veterans and their families can come and live for 3 or 4 years as they work through transition, work through veteran-related issues, and they can grow and be successful.
How did all this get started?
Back in 1922-23, after World War I, a lady named Amy Ross in Detroit noticed that a lot of veterans and families were struggling with joblessness, homelessness, and even widowed mothers with children. She approached the VFW Department of Michigan and said, there's something, we need to do something. And so the commander at the time, Clarence Chandler, agreed. Working with the Military Order of the Cootie, which is a chartered entity of the VFW, whose responsibility is to support veterans in hospitals, all decided they needed to do something. About that very time, Corey Spencer, a landowner in Michigan, donated 475 acres to the VFW to start the VFW National Home.
Now, how did you get involved?
After retiring out of the military, I started working with veterans and families. First with surviving family members who were working through the processes of survival, grievance through their lost loved one, and then moving into taking care of veterans. And I'd been successful at helping several veterans move here and be a part of this program. So when the opportunity came to be the leader of the team, I had no choice but to apply.
Well, tell us about the kinds of challenges that veterans and their families living at the VFW National Home are facing in their transition out of the military and back to civilian life.
Well, as you know, Montel, when military members leave the military, some struggle with transition. Sometimes they get out in the community and they've lost that bond, they've lost that brotherhood or sisterhood that they had in the military, and it makes it easy for some to lose their way. And then if you compound it with post-traumatic stress disorder or traumatic brain injury or just the stresses of transition itself, veterans can get lost. They take their family with them when they're lost. And so they can come here and we work through those issues with them by providing resources and providing them a place to just take a knee and figure out what life needs to be for them going forward.
What programs and resources does the VFW National Home provide for these veterans and their families to get back on their feet?
Well, first, we provide peace and serenity. It's a peaceful place, as I said, in Eaton Rapids, Michigan, where they can come and relieve themselves of the stress. We provide them free housing. We provide them no utilities. We provide them with daycare for their children, after-school activities. And we also provide them veteran resources to support their veteran issues, as well as parenting and couples skills, budgeting. We provide them all types of resources to help them grow and be better veterans and families.
Eaton Rapids, Michigan. I don't know a lot about it. What's it like living in Eaton Rapids, Michigan?
Eaton Rapids is a beautiful little town in central Michigan that you can walk down the streets any time of the day or night and you'll feel welcome. You can walk any store, any restaurant, and you'll feel like you're a member of the community. It's a beautiful place. And just 5 miles east of there is the National Home out here in the middle of cornfields and woods and river. It's just a beautiful place in the world that everybody should come visit as far as I'm concerned.
It's got to be extremely gratifying to see veterans and their families come to the VFW National Home looking for a second chance in life and leave there in a better place.
It's my favorite part of this job, Montel. I love watching people grow and learn. I love watching veterans work through their issues, and I love watching the children enjoying their time here while mom and dad are taking care of those issues. Children don't have to be a part of the issue. And I like that about the place. And I like to see the veterans move on from here and buy houses and go to college and get better paying jobs, and just that's the best part of this job.
Well, tell us how people can get involved and, help our veterans at the VFW National Home.
Well, the VFW National Home is a private nonprofit, 501c3 nonprofit. We survive solely on contributions and donations. And so we have a website, vfwnationalhome.org, where anybody can go and see how they can provide support, either financially or through offering resources to support our veterans and families.
Thanks so much for being a part of the show today, Mike. Really
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We're going to hear a little bit more from you a little later in the show, but coming up, you're going to meet those whose lives have been changed since they spent time at the VFW National Home. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the special edition of Military Makeover Operation Career. Let's meet some of America's brightest veterans who went through the darkest of times and are now thriving.
One second, because this is where it gets rough, a little rough. My tours to the Middle East, I like to leave them where they're at, and that's in my past. And it's just something you don't like to think about, and those were babies, 18, 19 years old, losing their lives, and it's just horrible. It's horrible. And if you have a family, and if you have children, you definitely think about them. So you're constantly on edge, worried and looking around you. You're constantly checking your six. You have to rely on your fellow soldiers, your fellow sailors, your fellow service members. We are each other's backbone. We hold one another up.
I remember my first time on a flight deck. It was chaotic, it was dangerous, everything was all over. There was so much going on that I didn't even know where to look. I had a letter T on my cranial for training, signifying that I did not know what the hell I was doing on the flight deck. I had to be attached to my supervisor's hip because I didn't know what I was doing. And one wrong turn, one wrong move, something awful could have happened.
From the very minute of the phone call that you're being mobilized for war, life changes. It changes for you, it changes for your family, before you ever get to the theater. But once you get into the theater of combat, the certainty of life goes away.
If we don't do our job right, first and foremost, we could get hurt ourselves. If we're not loading the ordnance, we have checklists, we have manuals that we follow. Everything has to be done by the book when it comes down to loading our ordnance. Not only is our lives at stake, but we also have to think about the troops on the ground as well. If we're not providing the safe ordnance, the right ordnance, their lives are at stake. Essentially, everyone's lives, from the flight deck to the loading, to the pilots in the jet, to them dropping the ammunition, the bombs, everybody's life is at stake. We all depend on each other to do the right thing. When the pilots return back, it's a humbling experience, but also it's a relief, honestly, because they made it back safely. And it's also a plus when we see our ammunition dropped, because we know that it handled business. They went out, handled business, and they returned back safely. And that right there is what keeps us going.
You learn quickly to change into a mode of survival. And so whether you're in combat or not in combat, you're just in the environment where you don't know certainty. You're uncertain when you're going home, you're uncertain how you're going home, and that changes people. It's the hardest part of being mobilized, is getting over that when you get home.
My biggest challenge when I came home was dealing with man. I was very paranoid. The slightest thing would set me off. I was angry, and I didn't understand and didn't know why, and it caused me to start drinking heavily.
When I first got out of the military, it was a huge transition. I wasn't ready for it. I thought it was gonna be a lot easier, but it was actually, in fact, harder. I didn't really know where to go or what to do or how to even navigate through life.
You leave for 6 months and it's not like you come back to the same thing. You know, you're a stranger in your own home, and it stays that way for a long time. And unless you have the right coping mechanisms and the right coping skills, and your family has those right skills, some never get over it. Some never come home, so to speak, because it's not where they left.
I went from military structure to orders to rules to uniform inspections to now being a full-time mom and a full-time student. I didn't know how to handle that. I didn't know how to navigate through that. And so for a while, I was lost.
I was in a dark place. I started having dark thoughts. I had never been in that place before. And I began to question myself. All you hear is that negative voice in your head for me telling me I'm worthless, telling me I'm shameful, I'm not a man, I'm a loser, I can't even provide for my family. I fell behind financially. And that's what led me to the dark place that I was in. And I began to think and rationalize about how I could take my life, how I could end it.
Veterans are hard-charging, willing to go the distance, have intestinal fortitude, have mental and physical toughness, and they are no nonsense. That's where they get in the most trouble.
Many veterans, they don't want to ask for help, and that's the hard part. I think second chances are important because a lot of the families that live here were at rock bottom, and we're giving them a second chance.
And they continue to empower transitioning veterans. Coming up, how VFW National Home makes sure all those who pass through their doors get the assistance they need. Stay with us. Welcome back. With a staff of 46 and more than 150 residents on campus, annual events, fundraising, and more, daily operations at VFW National Home is no easy feat. But their services are so vital for transitioning veterans.
I didn't even know this place existed. I looked online to see what it was about, inquired about an application, and the day that I got the application, I turned around, filled it out, and submitted it. And the rest was history.
So if a veteran wants to apply to come live here at the National Home, the first step is to reach out to our helpline. There's two ways to do that. The first is to call our 1-800 number, and the second is to hit the Help Now on our website.
Once you apply, be ready, because when you get to the case manager is going to help you define goals. That's the whole premise of this program.
And there's 3 lanes of eligibility. The first one is they're actively serving, which includes the National Guard and the Reserve. The second is they're a veteran. And the third is our legacy lane, which is their auxiliary, so their mom or dad served.
And we got the phone call that we had been accepted. And once we got the phone call, my wife and I fell on the bed and we cried. We knew that we had help.
I had nothing. I left a toxic marriage, picked up, packed my bags, got in my truck, left Jacksonville, Florida, and came to Eaton Rapids, Michigan.
So from the day we moved in to now, my life has been completely changed. Starting with the VFW National Home, providing me with the support and the programs that I needed. They even offered me PTSD programs here.
We also offer free daycare to the families that live on campus at our Early Education Center, which is for children 6 weeks through the age of 5. That helps them save money to work on their financial goals.
In the process, we got our finances together, we got our lives together. They offered classes and programs for my wife.
They also get recreation for the kids, so we have a support services team that works with the kids in the summertime. They do field trips, they do a 4-H program, and they also do after-school program. They can do open gym, homework, tutoring, and then the houses are fully furnished, so they get a single-family home from the furniture to the dishes to everything, but we want to make it as easy as transition as we can for the family.
You know, given this second chance, I was able to not only find employment again, but I'm enrolled at the University of Michigan on the dean's list. You know, I have a house, I have food, my kids are taken care of. We've addressed all our medical issues, and we regain our life back.
The military can't make you ready to be a veteran. There's no way. They make you ready to be a soldier. They make you ready to be a sailor. They don't make you ready to be a veteran. That takes somebody else, and that's what the National Home does.
The integration of the veteran into civilian life is so important, and that's what we do here. When they come back, they're having issues, it could be a variety of things, and we work a goal-oriented program to build that family strong.
Luisa's daughter Layla is our Buddy Poppy child here at the National Home.
I'm Buddy Poppy, and these are all the pins from different VFWs from different states.
The Buddy Poppy program started in 1930, and so what that entails is she goes to National Convention with us. She does her speech in front of 7,000 people about what it is like to live at the National Home, and more importantly, about her hero, which is her mother. She talks about her mom and her mom's time in the Navy and what that means to Layla and her brothers and sisters. Right now, she's the face of the National Home for us.
We had like nothing, and the VFW National Home helped my family a lot because it helps them to get a house if they don't have the money or if they're struggling. This is a place to give them a break and get them back on their feet.
Miss Rhonda is just amazing. From the time I started, I've been here for 11 years, and she's just so kind, and so she just knows the roots of this place. If there's a question that we can't figure out, it's like, call Rhonda. I mean, she literally is the go-to person because of her history here.
Miss Rhonda's been here at the National Home for 45 years. She has seen the program change over the years, and she is a godsend to me. The kids that live here, they all love her.
I love how Miss Rhonda forges these relationships with these kids and these families. You can just tell it's so important to her. And that's powerful. We're in the people business, and there's just nothing like it. We're changing lives, and that's what's so powerful for my department, asking people for money. It's their hard-earned money. And when we can show them what we do, it's incredible.
It's important that we take care of veterans because veterans took care of us. Veterans wrote the check to make sure the United States remained the safest and greatest place in the world. And some fought to the death to keep it that way.
I am damn proud that I served. I feel like veterans get left out in the cold. We are the ones that chose to fight for America, for people who just think that it's all right or okay to see a homeless veteran on the street. I've been through hell and back, especially with my kids, to be just forgotten or to be another number.
We should celebrate and take care of our veterans because of the work that the sacrifices that they've made. And this world that we know, you and I, would not be the same if it wasn't for our veterans.
My vision is to grow, continue to grow, and help more families. And when I say growing, adding houses, adding more services, adding more resources, making sure that people can get everything they can get out of the National Home before they leave in their 4 years.
Our funding is predominantly from individuals as well as organizations such as the VFW, the auxiliary, and businesses and corporations that care about veteran issues.
As a matter of fact, if you go to our website, VFWNationalHome.org, and look at how you can help, there's lots of ways on there you can help.
For someone that wants to donate to the VFW National Home, I would say, please do, because it's worth it, it's needed, and it's going to an absolutely great cause.
It's important that it's a hand up, not a hand out. So our goal is to make sure they're sustainable when they leave here and solid as a family, because we build strong families. That's what we do at the National Home. And donors make that possible.
We are unique. There is no other organization like the VFW National Home.
They need to scream about this place. Everyone needs to know what the National Home does because they are the only program like this. People need to know what this program can do for you and how it can change people's lives. It changed my life for the better. I can't thank the National Home enough what they have done for me and my kids. Like, they gave me a second chance. I can sit here and look at you in the face. I'm alive. I'm alive today. And I'm better today because of God's grace and the National Home.
What great work VFW National Home is doing. I'm Monta Williams. Thanks so much for joining us on this special edition of Military Makeover Operation Career. We'll see you next time.